I prefer the coffee.
What up, though? It's your boy Coffee back with another one, and right here is yes, this is part two of Ian Schwartzman. Giving them gems, man. I kind of like when he get on spaces because he really do give it up. He know how to answer the questions. He know how to avoid them too. So salute to him and happy Thanksgiving to everybody, man. Comment, like, subscribe, enjoy. Let's go.
I also don't think a lot of people really think of speaking or talking or being entertaining when talking as a talent. Like people don't work on it. They don't try to learn words. They don't try to learn stage presence. Like I feel like in order to like for me to be a great podcaster, I'm looking into learning how to do improv. If I'm going to be telling jokes or have dark humor, I should actually be funny, right? I don't want to do stand up, but I feel like I have to add other skills, and I think that will help me be more creative and make more entertaining content.
I
Well,
think
I would.
I think that's
Oh, go
right.
ahead.
Tylee definitely has the right frame of mind, and
I hope so.
I would say the opposite of what's about to happen. I think you're going to see the kids of today look at podcasting the same way they look at going to get a delivery boy job or waiting tables job in a good way. Like, oh, this is attainable. I can do this. And not for a
That's
quick
how they looked
buck,
at
but I can
YouTube.
do this and sustain my lifestyle indefinitely. And some of those people will take it to heights we've never seen before, and some of them will be transient, casual creators. But I think most of younger society, what are they called? Gen Beta. These are like the new babies. They're going to grow up, and if you don't make content, I don't know how you're going to make money. Like I don't think the same things will apply for entry level jobs in the future. I think content is going to be the most popular entry level job in the world.
Mm. Yeah, I still don't have. I like Tylee's point about if you just talk more and you talk. I see a lot of people talk and
Did
not
I
get
lose you
better.
guys?
No, we hear you.
I think Ian's going through
Yeah,
something.
can you hear Danny?
I don't think Ian can hear anybody. Let me just remove. Let me add.
I really was just filling space because he was gone. I think that's a good question because even like I don't know, how do you get better?
Can you
How
hear
do
me?
you get better, Danny?
Can you hear us now, Ian?
I do hear you.
No, I was going to Tylee's point. She was kind of like filling space because you had we're having mic issues, but the idea of like sitting down and doing reps. There's a lot of people who do pods and they don't get better. They just continue to be terrible. They don't have it. So it's like, how do you actually get to the point where you're making good content? How do you even know if you're making good content?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I think the easy answer would be to say, well, if you start garnering an audience, obviously, but that's not necessarily true. I mean,
Yeah,
like I know a lot of good musicians and podcasters that are great at what they do, but they have no mainstream success. The bigger question is, I think the more important question is how can you make quality content that earns you the ability to call it your job by earning money? Like I don't. I think there was a really good point that Tylee said, which was like, "Hey, I have 300, and I don't know if this is true, but I have 300 dedicated listeners."
she did. Yep, she had a pod. Mhm.
Well, I think that's
Oh, I
beautiful.
have a pod now. I record out of Media Hub. You could take that back. Have one.
Mm,
Thank
get
you.
in
You
there
can
though.
find me on public television, Babe Channel 1723. Speak
Well,
Minneapolis.
congratulations, and look, I think having 300 people that are dedicated to anything you do could lead to compensation. I think it's up to the creator, like Ty Lee, to say, okay, I'm going to take these 350 people seriously. I think there's a lot to be earned from them, and then figure out how to deliver the best experience to them, the best entertainment to them, and then on the back end, figure out how to set up a business structure that makes it equitable and viable enough for Tylee to make it a business. Like that's what makes you great. It's not just the content. It's like, are you able to look at what you have and say, I can turn this into a business that can help me pay my bills? That's when you've really broken through a threshold.
Yeah, don't let people trick you into thinking you got to be making like hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's just not realistic. Uh,
Bullshit.
Yep. Furious Robinson. What up?
What up, Danny? What up, the stop?
I-
Salute, Ian. Salute to the stage. We works, we up, who up here? Chris, Evan. Salute to everybody. But no, I just wanted to add to that conversation though, and I think how you get better at podcasting, and I think this is easy. It's just like basketball. You got to study the greats, like Kobe studied Jordan. I don't know who LeBron was studying because he's a freak of nature, but at the end of the day, I look at other creators in the space and I say, oh, he doing this, let me do it like that. Oh, they're saying it like this, let me say it like that. And I think it just goes back to like if you're not copying, you kind of not really understanding what's going on. And I'm not saying carbon copy, but I'm saying like look at how somebody does a crossover to the left and maybe you do it to the right. So I kind of look at the creation process like that. You got to study the field. If you're not really kind of looking at the landscape and saying and seeing who does things very well, because like Danny, he's very good at just pulling history into his content. So I'm like, okay, that's dope. Dub is very good at getting elevated at certain points. So I'm looking at everybody's shit and just really unpacking it and then kind of putting together my own package in that kind of way. And that goes across the board from editing, thumbnails, who got the best thumbnails, who got the best, like all that. So that's just how I look at it.
think that's a
Evan.
good way to look at it.
Oh, my
Evan.
fault. Yeah. No, I was gonna ask about like not just also grading progression, but also how do you grade regression? So like, for instance, when you posted the numbers of Patreon, we made this, we had 30 million viewers up, but our proceeds were down. It's like when you see that your numbers are decreasing, what are
Yep.
some of the analytics that you're looking towards to figure out how to fine tune and shift?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, if you're talking about seeing an audience decrease, or are you talking about seeing an income decrease? What's the measuring stick?
Just more of a decrease, I guess, more in financials. So if the money's decreasing, what analytics are you looking at to try to fine tune the course correct?
I think I'd be looking at why are people leaving, right? Like when are they leaving? Why are they leaving? How can I incentivize them to stay? What am I not doing in my program that's making them want to resubscribe month over month or rewatch on YouTube? Is my content not replayable? Is it topical? Is it not evergreen enough? Like I would look at those factors. I think there's a million ways to look at it, but there's so many different data points out there that can give you a hint into what's working and what's not. And more often than not, I like to look at what's working and then double down in those areas because whatever's not working will eventually go away because it's not resonating and you'll stop seeing conversation about it. You'll stop getting interaction. It will eventually kill itself off. But if you really investigate what does work and then dedicate to reinvesting into those categories, I feel like you could solve the problem without actually knowing the problem. I hope that answers the question.
We got a couple minutes. Make it count, man. We're about to wrap up. This has been an enlightening space. A lot of creators in the chat right now.
Well, Danny, do you think I've contributed enough? I'm about to eat some ice cream.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yo,
Yep.
Ian, before you go, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
All right, so you don't have to answer this, but I was just thinking about this when Joe was making his statement, like, "Oh, you guys are gonna make big moves in 2026."
Yep.
My guess is, I think you guys are trying to get on one of these streaming services, like be a podcast, like on Netflix or Peacock, something like that.
Okay. Well, I like the guess. Um, I could tell you we're not trying to get anywhere that we don't intentionally want to be. And um,
Tricky words.
only to you, Danny. Um, listen, I think there's a lot of opportunity on different platforms. I wouldn't sit here and say that's what we're doing right now, but you will see, I'd say even before 2026, you'll see some cool shit happening.
Nice, nice. So there you have it.
Nah, Ian knocked it out of the park today.
I don't. I forgot. I didn't record all of this. I made a terrible mistake. I made a terrible mistake. Hopefully, it lives
But
in your minds. I apologize.
It's better there, guys.
Wow, Danny, you didn't record none of this. That was great stuff.
I just happened to record the Nicki Minaj versus Michael Monhill space, but didn't record this one. That's crazy.
Well,
That's crazy.
hopefully that Elliot or somebody else recorded this.
Yeah, I know, right, Elliot?
Wait, can I ask a question really quickly?
All right, last question from Ty
Okay.
Lee.
Okay, Ian, what is something that you think the Joe Budden podcast can do that would change like the way podcasting look or how other people do podcasting? Or what is something you guys done that you feel like has changed the scope of things?
We okay. We've never done a stitched ad. We've never, not once, done a stitched ad. Advertising has always been very selective on Joe and I's behalf, and we don't feel like every partner is the right partner. If it's not serving some purpose, adding a layer of entertainment, interactivity, um, boasting our user interfaces with our program, or adding value to the listener experience, we don't do it. I don't give a shit how big the check is. We won't do it. And
When
that's
you say
been
a stitch ad, you mean like a sponsored ad insertion where you could just like that
we've
sense?
yeah, we've never done ad insertion.
Okay, cool. So like where somebody's like, "Hey, remember guys, check out Bevel," like that type of thing.
Yeah, where it's like pre-stitch. It's like not even, or if it is recorded, they insert it, like the company who's running your ads inserts it inorganically into a show that you have, and it pops up and it sounds like an ad you would hear on the radio.
So you
Like
not doing that is changing podcasting, or you,
Us not doing that changed for us, and hopefully people that are taking notes on what we do. We were trying to show you don't need to do that to create a successful business. You just talked about McDonald's throwing around DEI bags and ad bags and this and that. It's like we never got caught up in that bullshit. Like we've had every brand come to us that exists on planet Earth and offer us very little amount of money and a shit ton of money. And if it didn't make sense for our audience, if it wasn't going to do something that was beneficial to the listener and viewer experience, we just didn't do it. And we felt like too many. One thing that we learned was what not to do. And there was like a period between 2020 and 2023, 4, where everyone was just going crazy with these ad deals, and I'm like, you can't even enjoy listening to a podcast anymore because every 10 minutes they stop the conversation for some bullshit ad insertion, and by the time the second or third one goes off in a row, I turned it off. So there were shows I was listening to and I'm like, great 8-minute segment you had, and now I just listened to 12 minutes of ads. I'm turning this off now.
but they try to get you to pay for the premium by saying, "Oh, we'll take away the ads." You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, like I said, the creator still has to turn down the ads if you want your user experience to be enjoyable. People think you get ad money, fuck the listener, fuck the viewer. I'm getting money. I don't care what they think. The truth is, if you don't flip that mentality, soon enough, the viewer and listener won't give a fuck what you say.
oh, and that's also how you make quality content because you don't have any ads.
I wouldn't say we don't have any.
No,
We
but I'm
just don't
saying
have.
back then, in comparison to your competitors that would sprinkle ads everywhere, you
Yeah.
didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. And we intentionally did that. Joe, at a certain point, Joe and I disagreed with that. I was very hell bent on taking no ads. I was like, let's do no ads, period. Because not because it didn't make sense or it didn't align with our listeners or viewers, but because everyone was doing it. I was like, Joe, if we're the only ones in the marketplace that haven't taken ads and we're as big as we are, then that means all these ad companies will want to get to our audience and we'll be the last one standing. And therefore we could dictate the market value that we present to them, as opposed to when for example, a McDonald's is out there and they're like, we're going to go give 800 shows $2,500 each to do an ad read. You're just one of the $2,500 ad reads. But if you don't do it and then they need your audience for something, I promise you that ad doesn't look like $2,500 when they need you.
Mm.
So that's how we changed it, I believe. That's the one thought that comes to mind.
the way I'm hearing it is like you invested in your audience so that way they can in turn invest back in you.
There you go.
Facts. And the
Yeah.
content can't be basura.
That's right. Leave that trash outside.
I think they almost. I think that the funny part is I feel like it can be trash if you like do the business right. Because I feel like there's some trash podcasters who do business right, and that could be responding to every Patreon comment, having
Mhm.
spaces, talking to people, or people just gonna love you because you give them attention. Well,
I mean, yeah, that's true, but I think there's a much different ceiling on that than there
yeah,
is what I'm talking about, and
being
that's just
good.
it's just my professional opinion. It doesn't mean it's right.
Nah, I agree. I agree. There's a way more potential with the person that's actually making good content.
Hmm.
But well, there you have it, guys.
I was gonna say that. Can I let me end it? Well,
Go
there you
ahead.
have it, guys. My name is Ian Schwartzman. Thank you for coming by the stop. Title was Elliot Wilson ends the bigger picture. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Why did it end? Who did what? I love you guys. Thank you for spending your time here. Who's that? Coffee?